Welcome to Thunderbird Thursdays. Today's theme is There's No I in Leader. And just want to welcome everyone to today's event. Before we get started, I wanted to do a land and labor acknowledgement. So we would like to acknowledge the people whose land we are gathered on today. Present day Des Moines, where Highline is located, is on traditional village sites of Muckleshoot, Duwamish, Puyallup, and many other tribes who've made their homes on these lands and along these waters. Let us also acknowledge the robust indigenous communities made up of the tribal diversity that originate from around the country and whose journeys have brought them here and to other locations by ways of forced displacement or seeking opportunities. Today, these same communities celebrate their heritage, showing resilience and tenacity that would be greatly admired by their ancestors. Further, we respectfully acknowledge the enslaved people, primarily of African descent, who provided exploited labor on which this country was built with little to no recognition. Today, we are indebted to their labor and the labor of many Black and brown bodies that continue to work in the shadows for our collective benefit. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that in the chat, there is a link to nativeland.ca. And if you're interested about learning about the land that you live on, you can check that out. It's a really cool website. I wanted to go over some community guidelines for today, just so we know how to be in space with each other. So one thing to think about is impact over intent. We may say something with the good intention, but it still can have a negative impact on the person that you're referring to or you're speaking about. And so just be mindful of how you might be causing harm to other folks in our community space today. The other community guideline that I want us to think about is step up, step back. So if you are someone who is usually unafraid to speak, we welcome you to step back and let others step up to the plate and share their perspectives and participate in conversation. And so those are the two main ones that I wanted to cover for today, but also wanted to about our community. Are there some other community guidelines that we should add to today's program? You can unmute yourself or you can share it in the chat. All right, I think we're good. Give me a thumbs up if we're good to move forward with our community guidelines. I see a couple of thumbs up. Awesome. Thanks, folks. And before I forget, please make sure that you check in for today's event. This helps us to keep track of who's coming and also gives you a chance to offer some feedback for what kind of programming you want to see in the future and things that we can do better with these workshops and presentations. So please bit.ly /thecenter-check-in, and the link is also in the chat. Thank you, Amy. All right. Finally, we've come to our Zoom tips. There are live captions available. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a button that says live captions. If you want them there, they're there for you to use to help make your experience in today's presentation more helpful for you. But if they become a distraction, you can also mute them so that you just see the people that are speaking. In Zoom, you also have the options to have speaker view versus gallery view. If having everyone in the space visible makes you a little bit anxious or uncomfortable, you can switch to speaker view so that you can only see the people that are talking. And then if things are happening in the background, like you got little siblings or nibblings coming in after school, whatever is happening in the background, you can be like me and put a virtual background there to make sure that nothing is being a distraction to our space today. All right. I could turn it over to Amy.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. So before we get started in today's actual content, we wanted to just share a little bit about what this is that you're at here today. So this event is called Thunderbird Thursday, and throughout this academic year, every month, once a month or so, we offer a leadership workshop. And this is part of the Connect program, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Basically, these workshops are on a variety of topics throughout the year, and it just offers you an opportunity to explore what being a leader means for you, and hopefully to grow some skills in various areas. And so the Connect program is really just a community of students who are participating in leadership programs at Highline. And so if you participate in at least 5 workshops over the course of the year, you can earn a leadership certificate. So that includes the Thunderbird Thursday workshops we offer, but also if you can't attend these workshops, if you participate in a leadership workshop with another campus department, you are welcome to log that participation and earn your certificate. And we do ask that you log your participation because we have some reflection questions on that log that we want you to know. We want to know, what did you actually learn from participating in a leadership workshop? And so Georgia has pasted the link to that form in our chat. And so after this program is over, you can log that you came for Thunderbird Thursday today. And kind of going from there, hi everyone. The folks who have organized your event today is the leadership programming team within the Center for Leadership and Service and the Center for Cultural and Inclusive Excellence. My name is Amy Bergstrom. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Programming and Marketing Leadership Advisor within the Center for Leadership and Service, and the rest of our team is going to introduce themselves as well.
Good afternoon, Highland community. My name is Edwina Fui, she, her pronouns, and I serve as the Intercultural Center Leadership Advisor.
Hello all, my name is Georgia Peary. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the club's program leadership advisor within the Center for Leadership and Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gio Marpanello. I am the mentorship program's leadership advisor, and I use he, him, his pronouns.
Again, I'm Lupe Samifua, he, him, his pronouns, International Engagement Leadership Advisor under the Center for Leadership and Service. I just have to say, this is a good looking bunch of people. This slide is giving me life right now. Let me turn it over to Iwizu.
I think I'm taking over this slide for her. So just as we get started with our session today, we're talking about team leadership. We changed it up on you, Lupe. So that's what happened. You were on track. We just changed it up. So we have a Padlet, I believe, which is a tool that we can use to share words and images and just however you like to creatively express the answer to this question. So the question was, and it just disappeared on me, but that's all right, I will pull it back up. When you think of team leadership, what images, characters, or people come to mind for you? So if you are thinking about team leadership, what is the art that you think of, or maybe there's a character from a fictional, a movie, a TV show, a book, or maybe there's a real life person that you think, oh, that person really embodies team leadership. And so if you go to the link that was shared in the chat for Padlet, you can start adding your thoughts on there, and we'll do that for a few minutes.
Can we unmute and speak as well?
Yeah, maybe we're gonna give people a little bit to do it, give people time to gather their thoughts and do it on the board. But when we start sharing it, I'll invite people to unmute as well, Jensen.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
Good question.
Okay, thank you.
And if you need some instruction, there's a little button with a plus sign in the bottom corner that you can hit that button and add specific kinds of things. You can also just, I believe you can also just double click into the blank space on the Padlet as well, if you want to add that way. I feel like people are still thinking, so I'm going to keep letting you think. Mostly we see the Ted Lasso coaching staff right now, which is great. So it's a, well, okay, I'll be honest. I haven't yet seen Ted Lasso. Don't come for me, but I understand that that might be a great, yes, haven't seen it yet. That might be a good example of team leadership. Jensen, did you want to answer that question verbally?
Yes, Amy. I'm trying to add
Okay.
so a picture of Jack and Rose from Titanic.
Jack and Rose from Titanic. Okay, awesome. Thanks.
I'm
Jensen.
gonna add the picture in a moment.
Okay, we'll watch for it.
So yes.
I see also some hands all in. Is that from Air Bud? Because I see like a paw as part of the hands
I see.
as
Looks
well.
like I also see Donald Duck.
Donald Duck with some ducks following along Donald Duck. Yes.
Is
There's
that-
also, I'm going to read this one, Jensen. Respect is a two-way street. The first thing that comes to mind in this topic of leadership is that respect goes both ways. So a leader shouldn't demand to be given respect if they can't give it back. Okay, so the kind of back and forth. This looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, some kind of superhero, something is also there. The Avengers. I don't know. Someone tell me all of the the superheroes that we have over there. You can tell me and my pop culture references that I'm really good at. Awesome. Well, feel free to continue adding to the Padlet if you have some additional thoughts, but thank you for doing that little, oh, Jack and Rose made it. Awesome. Thanks, Jensen, for adding that.
So yes, the picture is there. So
yeah, nice.
but
And you-
yeah, so
Oh, go ahead.
okay. So I watched, I read the book on Titanic before when I was little. So the Magic Tree House books.
Okay, great.
So
All right, thanks, Jensen. All right, so yeah, you can continue adding to that, but we are gonna move into our next slide. So I'll give Lupe a chance to, he's got all the work going on here, having to switch back and forth between the windows. So, you know, when we think of team leadership, thank you, Edwina, for putting this together, doing a little bit of the Google. So we think about team coming together as a team to achieve a common goal. And that, like, Edwina put that on there as a verb too, right? So teaming as like an action, and leadership, the action of leading a group or people of an organization. And so team leadership is really, we're thinking about what does it look like for a team to be leading a group or an organization, as opposed to maybe an individual person who's doing that. And so again, want to get your brains, you know, warmed up this, I was going to say morning, afternoon. And we're going to do a little bit of reflection and sharing. And so on the next slide are some questions. I will read them off, and Georgia's also putting them in the chat. And while I'm doing that, I think we're going to do pairs. So you are going to get put into a breakout room with a partner, and we'll take maybe 7 minutes? Sure, I'm saying that number. If you want it to be different, Lupe, you make that magic happen, to talk about these questions with your team or with your partner. So our topic today, we called this, there's no I in leader. What do you think that means? Why did we call this session that? Second question, share or reflect on a time when you had a good team leader. What did you appreciate about their style of leadership? Third is, what do you like about working in teams? And then fourth is, where do you find it challenging when working within teams? If you don't get through all of these questions, don't worry about that. This is just a conversation spark for you to be thinking about and discussing with your partner. So we're going to go into breakout rooms and we'll come back in a few minutes. And so we won't do too much of a debrief, but I'm just curious if there's any standout conversations that happened, any like particular things that you want to bring forward from your group. If you want to type it in the chat, or if you have something that you want to share by unmuting.
I will go first, I guess.
Georgia.
I will be vulnerable and I want to answer question number 4. When do you find it challenging when working within teams? I find it challenging working within a team when not everyone is doing their jobs. And so when like maybe we've all split up some tasks and like everyone's kind of chugging along, getting their tasks done, and then you kind of notice that someone else isn't. I think sometimes when I'm in a group setting, especially when I was in school still, I was so focused on getting a good grade that I would sometimes be like, I'll just do it. It needs to get done. I'm going to do it. When now, especially in like a full-time role, I think I challenge myself to be more checking in on that person that isn't getting their work done, because there could be another reason for it. Maybe like they forgot, which is a totally innocent thing to happen, or something's going on, or they actually need help and they didn't know how to ask for that. So that's something I like challenge myself to more, instead of like just taking on another task, maybe like reaching out to that person and offering my help to them.
Thanks, Georgia.
So yes, I would share question number 4 as well. So what Malupe and I would discuss earlier in the breakout room is for me like I found things challenging working with a team will be like you don't know what to do with after you read the instructions carefully. Like for example, if you take a cooking class, you don't know which ingredients goes which, and you messed up your cooking.
Yeah, so sometimes if the instructions for the working with a team aren't clear, that might, you feel like it might make something mess up. So that's great. Thanks, Jensen. All right, well, I think with that, we're gonna move to the next part, which I think is Edwina's. Yes.
Yes, it is me. Thank you, Amy. And thank you everyone for just sharing like your insight around, either your favorite experiences of, team leaders, and even like the challenges as Georgia was talking about. Really, teamwork, it can be both and. It could be a great experience or it could be a not so great experience. But one thing is for sure is that through that process, you'll learn and you will even grow in like, working with other folks. And so talking about building your A squad, we're going to dive into a little bit about theory and a little bit around team development. So stick with me, okay? Don't like fall asleep, especially those who have your camera off. Stick with Professor Easy for a little bit, because we're just going to talk about, what does it look like when teams are actually developing and forming together? And so on this slide right now, you could see a graph. And so psychologist Bruce Tuckman came up with this memorable phrase: forming, storming, norming, and performing. How could you forget that? Because even I didn't forget that after the first time I heard about this through another colleague. I did forget the psychologist's name, so I will be better at remembering that. But as long as you can remember forming, storming, norming, and performing, those are things like, when you're new to a different place, or you're working with a new group on a class project, or even if, some of our core leaders are working in the center and having this experience of being in a student leadership position for a year, you will get the opportunity to either go through these different stages, even if they're not like said out loud, they will kind of naturally happen. And so what does it look like, in these different stages? So just going over briefly each one, let's say, I am going to use our core leaders as an example. Fall training begins. It's your first time meeting your team either through Zoom. Many of you met through virtual spaces. Even this year in hybrid, you maybe got to meet your team in person a few days out of the week. And so in the forming stage, it really is around like setting the vision, getting to know people in your circle, kind of really establishing what your different roles are going to be as you begin to set goals and working together. And just setting clear roles. So that way, you know what your position is, what your part is going to be before you move into the storming phase or stage. The storming stage is where it's like, okay, we've had a quarter of working together. I kind of know, like, how Lupe or Gio or Amy or Georgia works. So like getting to know a little bit more about your team, and then you begin to start really processing things and like, how does this person process a way of planning versus how do I approach it? So really learning how do you make decisions. Sometimes there may be, testing each other's boundaries in that storming phase around like, okay, how are we going to reach this goal together? So really just one, not only getting to know your team, working through problem solving, but then also being able to hopefully reach a purpose and that your roles and individual are not so blurry or confusing. And so from that storming phase, being able to go through those decision-making things together, you reach a norming phase. And so maybe it's 2 quarters, maybe it's a year later, maybe it's 2 years, hopefully it doesn't take that long. But the norming phase is really where relationships are understood in the team. You know really well like how a person brings their skill set. For example, I'm going to use LPT, we know if I need help on wording or if I want inspiration, I know I go to Amy. I'm like, Amy, how do you form this? Or if I need a creative idea or something on the spot. Icebreakers, Lupe is really great at like coming up with different activities. So just really establishing relationships. And if you want some good creativity, entertainment, the GPs, you can contact them. So I think just like when you are working within a team for a while, you start to pick up and know like this person really contributes a lot of different strong skill sets. And so how do you really look at like what are those relationships in the team? What is our collective commitment to our departments? And then just working on that continuous process. Once you all are like, okay, we understand each other, we understand and know where to pick up or cover for one another, you then can start moving into the performing stages where when you know your team, things just kind of sort of come naturally. It is a gift, when you are able to just gel, with the people to your right, to your left, and just really like centering, like what is the purpose? How do we know how to support each other? If we do have conflict, going back to that storming phase, we know how to address an issue or how to approach a person based on how their leadership style may be. And so I believe psychologists added, like, as you can see here, there's like a 5th stage adjourning. So let's say at the end of this year for leaders, if you've gone to that performing stage, there might be a stage where it's like, oh snaps, we're coming to the end of our time together as a team. So it can kind of be sad, but you take away what you've learned from that experience of working as a team and moving on. I do want to say that this team development model works. It's seen more in like teams where you've worked for like a longer period of time. And so, I will just kind of say that. But I mean, it could work if you work with someone in 1 quarter or maybe like a month or 2, but I could see like these different stages, one playing out throughout a whole year, or you could be re-rotating. You don't always stop at the performing stage. Sometimes new person gets added into your team, so you may have to go back to step 1. And so that's just something around theory, around development that I just wanted to share with our team today when thinking about leadership roles and when thinking about working with others. I think on the next slide, there's just some tips from the model. So just thinking about like if you are ever in a leadership position, thinking about like really looking at what stage is your team at, considering what you want to do moving forward into different stages, and then scheduling time, like it's not just reviews, but just team time to really talk openly about, you know, hey, maybe I'm not as vocal on this, but I want to communicate in some way around adjusting how we move collectively to reaching other stages. So yes, forming, storming, norming, and performing, if you take anything away from this leadership model. Yeah, so that is it. And I believe next I'm gonna pass the virtual mic. Oh no, I lied. I have one more thing, one more gift that I forgot I want to leave with you all. I'm just looking at time. Team, is it okay showing this? It is a 13-minute video. Minute.
Is there any like partial, like if we watch the first X number of minutes and
Yeah,
then stop
maybe.
it, would that be?
Yeah, why don't we just watch the first few minutes, Uncle Lupe? And then, yeah, let's just do first 5 minutes, and then I can also brainstorm, share out the rest of what happens in the last parts.
Especially needed for work that's complex and unpredictable. And
all right, I know folks are probably trying to get into the story, but I just to sum it up, I also will put the link to the TED Talk if you want to finish it a little later. But talking about teaming, so going from what I was just talking about to team development, something long term, and as Amy Edmondson was saying, you know, like thinking about stability, like, you know, sometimes, you know, if you have that gift of time and practice, you know, there's a way of like, you know, extending and being able to develop as a team over time, right? But in the case of teaming, where it's like, you know, how do you work with folks that you may not know in a smaller amount of time, which is kind of what is going to happen today in today's session. You know, you may be meeting folks for the first time in this space, and we're going to give you all an opportunity to really practice out some team leadership. So what I really love about this TED Talk is that at the end, so talking about the miners that were stuck in Chile in the beginning, there's 33 of them, but actually it was from, you know, they had all these experts trying to help out to solve the issue, but it was actually from the miners themselves that were able to work together, acknowledge the skills of the people in that space, even though like it's a scary time to be in, right? They could have been panicking, but just being able to work collectively as a team under that pressure, under that time, that they were able to eventually break through that rock and get out and be able to come out one by one. I totally spoiled the rest of the TED Talk, but you can go back and watch it yourself. And really the essence around teaming is how do you look to the folks in a new team that you're in, acknowledging the skills, abilities that they bring, while also sharing what do you bring into that team as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Amy.
I feel like it's okay that you spoiled the end of the TED Talk because that was a real news situation. So like, spoiler alert, several years ago, this thing happened. So we are, as Edwina kind of hinted at, we're going to give you a chance to practice this, like forming a team in the moment and how do you work together. We're going to do that through a game called Code Names. Now, those of you who have been around our offices before, you might know that your leadership programming team loves the game Code Names. But if you haven't seen that, or if you just haven't played this game before, besides just we really enjoy this game, it's a fun game, we also realized that it had a great application to you know, what does it look like to be leading within teams? So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to play the game. It's not complicated once you start playing, but I'm going to have a lot of rules to tell you, and it's going to seem complicated. So let me just go through the rules, but then I think you'll get used to it as we start. So Code Names it's actually a board game, like a card game. You could play it in real life, but they made an awesome web version of it. And so there are two teams, a red team and a blue team. One member of the team is going to be the Spymaster, and everyone else is going to join the team as an operative. The Spymaster is trying to get their operatives to guess their team's words. So the red is trying to get the red team is trying to guess the red words, the blue team is trying to guess the blue words. There's also a dark gray word, which is called the assassin. If you guess that word, the game is over, and I'm sorry to say you lose. The beige words are bystanders. So if you guess those words, you're not hurt, but your turn is over. It's the other team's turn. And if you guess the other team's words, they get the point and your turn is over. So on the next slide, you can see what it looks like. So this is an example. Also, I apologize, the words are very violent on this one. This was just the random assortment that I got when I opened up the game. So if you're an operative, you just see the words with all the beige on them. So you're just looking at this and you're trying to figure out what those red and blue words are. The Spymaster sees the cards with the red and blue on top of them. And then you can also see that gray word. That's the one you don't want your team to guess, because then the whole game will be over. So the way that this happens is that, yeah, go ahead. I don't know if it's changed. Okay, so the Spymaster is going to give a one-word clue that connects one or more of their team's words and some number of how many. So you can connect one, you can just give a clue for one word, you can connect 2 words, 3 words, etc., all the way up to, if you can figure out a way to connect 9 words, go for it. The clue can't contain any part of the card. So the word falling off, you couldn't give the word fall or something like that. So an example from this board here is the word vehicle with the number 2 that could connect 2 blue words, truck and engine. So after the Spymaster gives the clue, the operatives will discuss their guesses together, and any operative can click on the card to make their guess. So you should make sure you and your teammates agree before you make your guess. As long as you guess correctly, your team can guess the number from the clue plus 1 additional guess. So that example of vehicle 2, your team can make 3 guesses. The times that will be helpful is if you missed a guess on a previous turn, you can try and make up with it on the following turn. And the next slide. So the cards, when we get to the actual board, the cards on the side will tell you how many words your team has left, and the game ends when one team guesses all of their words, or if one team guesses the assassin and they lose. So some tips from playing this a lot that we have for Spymasters. The words intentionally have multiple meanings, and you can give a clue that refers, in one time you could refer to one meaning and another time you could refer to a different meaning. So the word spine, for example, you could give a clue skeleton, you could later give a clue book. And even those are 2 different meanings of the word spine, that's like totally okay to do. Also recommend that you look not just at your team's words, but the other words as well. So the example I gave before of vehicle, that could be dangerous because the operative could have guessed drone, that they might think of that word as vehicle as well. And also for Spymasters, after giving your clue, you cannot give additional hints, whether that is verbal or your face or anything like that. We find a lot of times when playing this game, you like hear your team doing something and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to turn my camera off so they can't see that I'm raising my eyebrows or freaking out about it. And then my last tip is just try and connect as many words as possible. Sometimes people just get stuck and they give 1, and that's okay, you can do that, but like it's a more fun game if you're trying to connect more words. Okay, so again, we'll have questions. I'm sure you will, but basically I'm gonna share a link, and everyone is going to need to open this link in their own tab, or on a browser. And the first thing it'll ask you to do is create a name. So that could be your name, it could be a nickname, whatever you want it to be. And then what you're gonna need to do is join either the red or the blue team. One person should choose to be the Spymaster. So if you want to be brave and be the Spymaster first, and then everyone else can join as operatives. I would just say keep an eye on the balance. So if you notice there are 8 people on the red team and there are only 3 on the blue team, then join the blue team, please. And then when everyone is on a team, we will take some questions and answer and get started with the game. And then the Spymaster will have a little box that they have the place to put their question or put their clue, and then also a drop down to select the number. So I put the link in the chat, and maybe Lupe, you could actually share the game. And that way I can see what everyone's doing.
So Amy, I have one more question. So
Yeah, go
who
for it.
can have the questions ready for the that connects to the words?
Yeah,
that
so
they
the
use?
person who's going to be the spy master is going to be the one who gives the clue.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. The spy master will answer give
The
questions.
spy master will give the clue. Yeah.
The clue. So yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I see we have 6 people. So yeah, we need some red team members, it looks like right now. There we go. Oh, I'm the 6th person in the room right now. So now we have 9 more people to join. I guess I have to join a team, otherwise I won't be able to make the game go. So I'll join there. Okay, who's gonna be brave and be the spy master for the red team or the blue team? All right, we've got somebody who joined. My screen is too small, I can't quite tell who joined, but thank you. And we need a red spy master too. All right. Okay, so if you're the blue spy master, you should see a little box at the bottom. That's the place where you're gonna give your clue, and then you'll do a drop down of how many words that's going to be. And then once the clue's been given, the blue team members, you should talk to each other and you'll have the opportunity to make your guesses. Any questions?
Nah.
All right, well, blue team, take it away.
Blue team, feel free to unmute yourself so you can hold your discussion.
Glass ceramic. Are we allowing 2 words clue?
Typically we don't, but it's an exercise for a workshop, so it's
Okay.
fine.
Let's see. Glass ceramic. Do not click that yet. Maybe, perhaps. Maybe we should discuss first.
Who's no? No way.
So glass ceramic. It would be nice to know who's in our team, by the way. So I'm Boba Daddy.
Yeah, let's do that. So blue team, identify yourselves.
Bender Gibson.
Sleepy.
Boba Daddy here. So.
I'm Pinky.
Oh, Katie's your spy
Katie's
master.
Pinky. Katie. Huh.
And Shukri seems like
Yeah,
the
think
other
about
member.
something that you can contain.
No additional
hot.
clues,
Ooh, okay,
Katie.
I guess
No
this is now a
additional
charade.
clues.
Let's see. Glass
Know
ceramic.
what it is, but I'm on the other team.
You know, scientists maybe because they do have the flask, the tubes. But they're not ceramic though. Those are just glass. So maybe, but glass ceramic. Ugh.
What about a picture?
Ooh, a picture, a
That's
very,
actually I forgot about that when
a
I was
very
because when I
heavy
read that at
picture.
first.
Can
Oh,
I
sorry,
give
Gio.
out a clue?
You cannot.
No, sorry,
Okay.
sweetie. Private message.
You stay muted for this part.
About vase.
Oh, mug, hello.
Yeah, because when I was thinking of because when I saw a picture, I was thinking of baseball.
Glass ceramic mug. Let me click this. I
Wait, someone said something before you, Gio. Was it you? Who
think it
else
was Matt, or he was saying
It
picture.
was I was saying that I understood like why you guys thought it was pitcher, but I can't really be sure because what if it's pitcher as in baseball?
I think it's
Oh,
mug.
you think it's mug?
Yeah.
A vase. Or no, that's a. I don't have my glasses on. That doesn't say vase.
I was like, what?
I was like, wait, but vase? Yeah, I think mug would be the closest.
Okay, I vote for mug. Blue team, what you think?
Mug.
Yeah, mug.
Shukri?
Yeah,
Outta here.
Let's go.
Okay, so I empower someone to click mug. Yes, Fender Gibson. Good job. Okay.
Thank you.
So the other note I didn't give was then once you finished your round, someone from the team does have to click end guessing in order to pass it over to the other team.
Good job, blue team.
Can red team introduce themselves before I give you all a clue? I am GP, by the way. I'm
Hello.
Spymaster.
I am Jeff.
Gabby is Apple. I'm Amy.
I'm
Musube.
NP.
Iman is Hi. Ari is Hi, guys. Okay.
I think Nano said he's NP.
NP. Okay. Great. Also, the cards don't normally look like this. It's some sort of like cross promotion thing that they're doing this week. Bird. All right. I think I know what
Crow
the
and duck, easy.
What do you think, red team, crow and duck? Ari says crow and duck. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the question mark
Duck
makes
is
me.
easy. Game.
Gabby also says crow. All right. I feel like we're feeling good about crow and duck.
I said crow and ducks too, so yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Jeff, thank you. And then just we can click end guess in.
Wait, you could take two guesses at once?
Yeah, so you can make the guesses however many the number gives you.
Oh, okay.
Good job, red team.
How to pick top. What?
Huh.
Horoscope.
How many clue are we getting today? It is just one clue. It's a clue.
I guess one.
I want to take a slight guess and say that that Pentagon might be it, because it might not be talking about the building, but it might be talking about like the shape. Then again, I don't really know much about horoscopes.
Or it could be Venus. You know, horoscope is Pentagon is not part of a horoscope. Venus is. Like,
That figures.
Yeah,
Venus
because
was
Venus
actually my
has to do
second
with
guess.
astrology
yeah.
and the stars.
So I feel good with
Oh,
He froze and saying what he felt good about.
I vote for Venus.
same.
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 Oh,
Yay! All right. Maybe the next clue, our Spymaster will be able to connect 4 clues or 4 cards.
So, okay, 3 words. Silk. Pockets.
Flag?
Ooh, flag.
I don't know. I'm not confident.
Iman says pocket too.
But I
Yeah.
like silk and pocket.
Sack. Silk. People are feeling okay. I'm reading silk. I'm reading pocket. And then we also have flag and sack as sort of potentials, but maybe silk and pocket feeling like the first ones.
I feel
Teammates?
strongest about silk.
Silk. I see Ari also said silk. Let's guess silk. I was gonna guess, I'm looking at the screen and I was gonna try and click on that. That was not gonna do me any good. Nice job. Okay, how about, what do we think? Pocket, flag, sack. I like pocket a lot. I feel like a
Pocket.
lot, a lot
Pocket.
of a lot of sewing. Pocket, Jensen says too.
Pocket.
Yeah. Gabby also says yes, pocket. Okay, all right. All right, so before we guess this third one though, what do we think?
Okay, with passing too. We don't have
We
to
can
go-
also end guessing if we don't feel confident in our third guess.
Oh.
Mon has no clue. Okay.
I guess sack, but not
Not feeling
not gonna risk
confident
it.
in it.
Not gonna
Yeah.
risk it.
Okay, so maybe we'll just end our turn.
We'll
and
end it.
then we can
Not
keep
gonna
that in
risk it.
mind that there's still a third clue having to do with sew for a future. Thanks for being our clicker, Jeff. Hey, I think we just had someone join. Welcome. We are playing a game that's helping us learn about team leadership right now. So if you want to just watch along while we're playing, that might be the easiest thing at this point.
ooh, this one's actually kind of easy. Code. Anyone? I'm like the teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Anyone? Anyone? Lupe, you've never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off? It's a movie from like 1987, and it's pretty funny.
Maybe RAM, like the actual, like the disc, the RAM, I think that's what it is called. And perhaps the obvious, scientist. Just from the 2 words clue that we have.
So in this case, we only got RAM and code as nerve might work.
Blue team, what do y'all think?
I think one of them has to be code because we're given like 3 clues to use, or 3 different words to choose from. So I think code can be one of them.
Okay.
RAM
with
could
the
also be a RAM could also be another word to connect with. I don't know what a third one would be.
Why don't we choose the one that we feel very confident about for first, like, you know, so we can get rid of one. Oh, okay, then it is there. It's clicked.
I'm very nervous about seeing what would happen with RAM because it's possible that they might be talking about Dodge Rams or the animal.
I'm good with RAM. I think that's, I don't know, team. Oh, okay, then we are not discussing today, apparently. Let's discuss.
Okay, we got one more.
Computer scene.
I kind of like nerve. Like that's pretty good. Aren't scuba divers computer science? I don't know.
You know what? They could be, but I don't think for the point of this round right now that clue does not pertain to scuba diver.
We don't take
Yeah.
a red squad. Let's go for it. I am support you with nerve.
Or scientist, it's there. I'm just saying.
This is there too.
Um,
That's good. We're neutral.
okay, and I think it's scientist.
It's gotta be scientists then. We were on a roll and then plummeted.
If you chose scuba diver, you would have been good.
There's computers involved and submarines and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Oh, well,
I did not think of the
I was kidding.
submarines.
We're on the red team, so we're trying to mess with you.
Ooh,
Ancients. Ooh, okay. Mammoth.
Mammoth. And
Moon?
I think Sherwood maybe.
Oh, Sherwood, like Sherwood Forest.
I'm not gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for Mammoth.
I think Mammoth feels like the most, but let's wait and let's see what the rest of our team thinks. Iman also thinks Mammoth.
Yeah, mammoth, but I also think moon.
Moon, the moon
is
is ancient. Hey, I'm
I
literally
don't-
saying those
I don't
words,
think
Gio.
I don't think moon connects to ancient
You don't think
artifacts.
it could, you don't think the moon
No,
is
but I'm not
ancient?
gonna risk it.
Jensen's not willing to risk it. Okay. How about the rest of our team? Gabby
I think
says
of mammoth. Yeah.
yeah, I get it, Jensen. We're just seeing what the rest of our team thinks. Gabby says mammoth too. Ari says mammoth. Nano says mammoth too. Okay, I think we should just do mammoth to start with.
Yes.
All right. Matt is telling us the Pentagon is a, I don't know if it's a very ancient building. I think it's like a within the last couple, maybe, I don't even know if it's more than 100 years old. Scuba divers are very ancient. Yo. All right, what do we think? So
I say moon.
Nana says moon also. Gio is still trying to get us, throwing us off. I do like Sherwood as like a, you know, it's like an ancient story, but I feel like the moon is more, oh, Gabby says Sherwood too.
Gabby,
Yeah, I'm
Jen-
gonna go with Sherwood.
Jensen says Sherwood too,
I
okay.
think this is risky though, so
Gio, stop it. What
what does
Sherwood, Iman? Yeah, so,
what does Sherwood make you think of? Or
oh, we guessed moon, okay.
right.
Someone was asking what Sherwood, so Sherwood, Sherwood Forest was the like home of Robin Hood, which is like a old like what do we call it, a fairy tale? I don't know what you call it, old story.
I think now is about the time I should get out of here. Catch my ride.
Oh my
Thanks
gosh.
for being here, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff.
Oh, welcome.
Oh, look.
Oh,
One
I
word,
already got one guess.
one word clue. I love it. And it
God.
Good thing we
actually
got
has.
this.
I already got a guess.
What is your guess, Matt? Do not click it yet. Let's discuss.
It's probably obvious, but sled.
Sled. Okay.
I don't really know what the second one would be.
It could be winter.
Nobody better say Sherwood.
Scuba diving in like tropical. Yes, sure. No. Okay. I empower you. I feel good with sled as our first clue.
Yes, I felt
Or
it.
not as a first clue, but our first guess.
All right, sled it is.
Are we clicking it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, since Amy was talking about Sherwood as a forest, is that what you said, Amy?
Yeah. Like where Robin Hood or
Forest, you know.
someone Robin lives. But would our dear friend Spymaster would know that?
Well, now she does.
Okay. Could be a buck, like a reindeer, like
Ooh.
a buck.
Oh, yeah.
I did not think of that. When I was
Don't
reading
worry,
that, I was
Matt.
thinking
I
of
thought about
Milwaukee.
it for us.
I was
A
thinking about the
soldier.
NBA team.
Wait, Iman, are you in our team? No, you are not.
She is not.
You are throwing us off.
Lesson learned about games with two teams. If someone that is not on the same team as you are is saying a answer, they're most likely sabotaging.
What?
I kind of want to say mess might be one of them.
Oh, winter is messy. That's right. Once the snows are stepped on, they ugly.
Yeah. Like first the snow looks beautiful, but then it just looks dirty.
This is hard. Embassy, model, picture, pencil. Buck. I feel good with Buck. Well, actually, that's the closest thing I could think of right now.
Yeah. Everybody else set on Buck.
Let's go for it.
All right.
So dramatic.
That was hard. So I'm glad that we got it, team.
I don't think that was the clue, but I
Okay,
digress.
that's what I'm thinking too, but
you
we still
all-
got it.
Are you all done? Or are you guessing and making another guess? Ooh, Iman is talking smack in the chat. If you're
Okay,
done,
let's see. What did we miss? We missed computer science earlier. I think scientist. I think we should. Wait, how come we didn't click scientist before we give the?
That was an accident. I don't know what's been happening with my mouse lately.
You need a new mouse, Matt.
I know.
I was like, did I
It's
get
okay.
Or a new battery.
It's okay. We got this.
okay, swim. Oh, swim.
Oh,
Scuba
come
diver.
on.
So it is a
Scuba
soldier.
diver.
Scuba diver.
Scuba divers,
Soldier.
scuba divers, scuba divers. So many scuba divers. I feel like we can.
Soldier.
I feel like we can get scuba divers.
Diver. I could think of maybe.
We definitely should guess scuba diver. So I feel very good about that. Edwina.
Let's see.
Yeah, they go swimming in the Sherwood pool.
Embassy, like
model?
you embassy suites, like you go swimming at the hotel.
What about a model, like a swimsuit model?
Oh, a swimsuit model. The GP give us that.
Oh,
Mass picture second
Sack.
flag. Sure what? Okay, I'm feeling model or stop just saying all the words. Model. Gabby likes model too.
Just
Nana
say
likes model also.
model.
All right, I'm feeling model. Iman also. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, shoot.
Oh no.
Oh, dang.
Thank you.
Thank you. Salamat
Snaps.
po.
All right.
So-
Okay. So we only have 8 minutes left. I would say, like, Katie, do your best to give them a clue that connects these last two.
Let's go, Katie. Let's go, Pinky.
Go Pinky.
Oh, hail, great Pinky.
Narf.
Definitely scientist.
Yeah. Scientist, and for some reason, I'm thinking flag might be related as well because of the moon landing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm just saying we could have just one card left if we click that scientist earlier. But yeah, scientist is for sure, I think, and flag or Pentagon.
Ooh.
With NASA.
I will not let that go. I'm very like it could have
So
been
we all
better.
set on scientist?
I would say
Yes, Shukri, you agree? Our other teammate, I'm trying to see who's, is that Nove? I'm cool with scientist, 100%.
I'm cool with scientist as well.
Oh.
Boom.
Yes. Okay. Now what do we do,
We
NASA?
could finish this. It could be like one and done.
NASA is a mess right now too.
I really like
Ooh.
about flag.
I do like the flag as well.
Okay, we'll go with flag.
Let's do this. Let's win this game.
What?
Let's go, red
I love it.
team.
This
All
is
right,
what I came here
GP.
for.
Oh, sorry, Pinky.
Gee, which one could it be?
Freeze!
Oh my goodness.
Sherwood.
Picture, a
Sherwood,
soldier.
Sherwood, Gabby agrees. Ari says, yeah. Woohoo! We did it. Come from behind, win, red team. Nice work, GP and
Good job,
red
everyone.
team.
Yes, good job, red team.
Okay, so this was super fun. We recommend playing this game whenever. You can always just go to codenames.game if you want to start your own. You just need at least 4 people, so you can have 1 Spymaster and 1 operative. But before we head out, GP Squared has some questions for us because this was fun, but we had a point.
Yeah, this is fun, but you know us, it's gonna play a game and then also make you think a little deeper of why we played the game. So we don't have a ton of time, and so I think other GP, maybe we just have them, if they want to share out and answer the question in this big group, they can. Sound good, other GP?
Sorry, I got disconnected. My computer died as you were explaining things, so I totally missed
We'll
that.
just go with what I wanted then.
Okay.
Okay. So these are some reflection questions. You can unmute, put in the chat. You don't have to answer all of them. You can maybe answer one. But thinking about like when you were an operative, did you have to think like your Spymaster? Did you try and put yourself in the mind of your Spymaster? And then when you were a Spymaster, so this is really just for me or Katie, did you think like your operatives? 2, what would you do differently as a Spymaster operative, thinking back on when you were playing the game? And when you were forming your team, do you think your team followed the team development model that Edwina showed us? So the forming, storming, norming, and performing model, like circular model. And then how was this workshop on team leadership? How has this workshop on team leadership affected how you approach teamwork in the future? So was there something new that you learned, something that you never really thought about when it comes to team and working in a team that maybe you learned here today? We would want to know. So please unmute or put in the chat just a short little reflection.
So can I answer it on mute?
Go ahead, Jensen.
So I think I would be more like a Spymaster than operative, because
you think you'd be better at being
I'll be
Spymaster?
better the next time I'm going to be a Spymaster and giving out clues.
And why do you think that, Jensen?
I think that because yeah, especially it depends on the words on the game that I mentioned. And I remember way back then.
Is there something though about being a Spymaster that fits more in with your leadership style within a team?
Kind of.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Jensen.
This game is new though, so I never played this game, so
you'll get used to it. We'll play again. Anyone else want to unmute and share an answer to that question or any of the other questions?
I have a very for our Spymaster Pinky, what would you have done differently as a Spymaster?
So Gio is calling in Katie to this conversation.
Yes, Spymaster. Or even you, Georgia, as a Spymaster, like what would you have done differently? LPT, we always play this, but having you participants with us today, that maybe we don't know as much, we don't know as much as about them, what would you have done differently?
I don't know if this is actually in addition to your question, Gio, and it's also I wasn't Spymaster, but I was thinking a little bit about the third question and the teams following the team development model. And I think it's really interesting to watch it happen really fast, because I think that's what happens in this game is we haven't played together yet. We're kind of like figuring out our forming. And then people start doing things and like maybe they're in conflict with one another. There's a little tiny bit of storming. And then once we get into a rhythm and the Spymaster starts to understand what the team is doing, there's like, oh, we're Norman. And then hopefully you are gonna get all those answers and you're performing, right? So it's really interesting to see that happen in this like really rapid fire kind of way. But I think that with that in mind, like being a Spymaster and operative, you have to also react to that and think, okay, what am I seeing from my team and how does that affect what clues I give?
Yeah, totally. Thanks for sharing, Jensen and Amy. In the interest of time, I'm gonna hand it back to Lupe to do some closing announcements.
Thank you. So before we close out today, really quickly, just wanted to make sure that you get connected with us on social media, so you can follow us at CLS Highline or at CCIE Highline, and also sign up for our newsletter. And we're gonna be putting that in the chat. CELS CCIE News. And so just find out about events that are coming up or things that we're doing. And sometimes we go live and you get to talk with us in person if you're still in school virtually. So do that, please. We have a lot of upcoming events, so we want to try to go through this quickly. Tomorrow, GSA, the Global Student Ambassadors, will be ending this year's International Education Week. And the event is called Global Music Playlist. And the Global Student Ambassadors will be talking about how music connects the world and brings wellness. So come check it out. Did y'all want me to just read all the events or people want to talk? All right. So on the 23rd of November, Tuesday, we have Caring for Ourselves During COVID-19 from 2 to 3:30 in collaboration with the Counseling Center. It's going to be facilitated by Milat and one of our ICC peer facilitators, and Darylyn Harris, one of our wonderful counselors in the counseling department. So please check that out. Make sure you come through. On December 1st, we will be doing another event called Honoring Student Voices, how students' unique identities affect their relationships with staff and faculty, also from 2:30 to 4. And that will be facilitated by Gabby and Laura Manning. And Gabby was on a student panel this morning and did a great job. So shout out to Gabby. On December 6th through December 10th, which is coming up soon, we will be holding a winter clothing drive brought to you by the Service and Mentorship Engagement Consultants, also known as SAME. So please donate jackets, gloves, scarves, blankets, and any hats that you have. It's going to be cold. It's already starting to get cold. On December 8th from 11 to 12:30, another opportunity to engage with the community, the Power in Serving Engagement Fair. Find out ways that you can serve your community. Also brought to you by SAME. And then Winter Leadership Retreat, which is going to be happening in February of 2022. The applications will be opening soon, so please pay attention. When you see the application open, apply as soon as possible. Don't wait till last minute. There's a picture of us from, it feels like many years ago. And then also the study abroad program is opening up now. And so applications will be due on December 15th at 5 p.m. And if you're interested in traveling to Vietnam this year, the travel dates will be from March 25th to April 3rd. The only stipulation is that you must be a current student at Hanley. And I think that's it for our announcements. So thank you everybody for coming today. We had a great time with y'all, and we hope to see you at our next Thunderbird Thursday. Have a good weekend, everyone.